Good evening. Trying to make sure I've got enough light. My lighting seems weird. Hopefully that's okay. I wanted to show you where I am with this magnetic calendar, my Foundations Decor calendar. This is August. It's my last month of kind of building from scratch, and then I have the whole month built. Yesterday, I did a live showing kind of some of my thoughts around backgrounds and things. I made a few changes, so we'll see how they go. This was not my original choice for the background, but I really like this for my letters on the top, and I actually chose this paper for the letters themselves. We'll see if I like it or not once it's done, but that's what I chose. Everything else, I glued that down yesterday. I let it dry. I also made a change to this middle. I was going to do something different. I was going to do this. And I changed my mind and went with this. I just like it. So I thought I'd just show a couple things. I'm not going to go kind of over the whole thing because it'd be too boring. But I'll show you a few things that I did already. A couple little tips and tricks. I would say if you have a Foundations Decor calendar or any of their, they have these holiday magnetic boxes. They have so many cool, cute things. I would recommend checking out Foundations Decor, their website, or there's a few other companies like Button Farm Club, which is where I got mine, that also sell Foundations Decor products. But they're good quality. They're, you know, this composite wood. They have the calendars. They have, like I said, these holiday boxes that are super cute. They have just kind of words that you can hang up. They have all kinds of really cool wood things. Check them out if you're into kind of this mixed media stuff. Really super fun. When I got my calendar, it was on a deal, so watch for deals. It was the whole pack. Anyway, so I've really enjoyed it, and I think they're really good quality stuff. So what I did kind of in between yesterday when I stopped my video and right now, I painted this white and I painted this red. I have to put something behind there for the windows. Like I said, I glued all these things down. I started on the stars already, so that's just this foil paper. The other side is the red for the zigzags on the surfboard. One thing I did that I wanted to be sure to show, well, two kind of main things. I have this Tim Holtz crackle texture finish that I put on here. Hopefully you can see it if I get it nice and close. And then I painted it with brown paint. I just thought that would be easier than paper and give it this cool kind of barky look. I also did the same thing on this little sand pile and painted it with brown paint that was mixed with rose gold. I tried to have it a little more rose goldy. So I did that on both of these. Again, they kind of mirror each other. They don't have to be identical. The surfboard will go here so it covers any of that kind of sloppy overflow. And then the sand, the other piece of sand, this should actually go, this goes on this one, right over top. But I was actually thinking it would be cooler to kind of set it like this. So I'll probably do it that way and not follow purely the design, because then you see both the bits of sand, add some more texture. And this was also a Tim Holtz texture finish. This was, it's like a transparent sand, it was called. And I thought about, originally when I put it on, I thought I would paint it. But actually, because the color of the wood, it looks like sand without being painted. I think painting it would make it look less like sand. This has even some color in it. The places where you put this on thicker are less transparent than the places where you put it on thin. So I just felt like that already looked like sand. So I think I'm just going to keep it like that. I wanted to show you that. This is the front of the bug thing. It'll go right here. And this was, I talked about how I sometimes do embossing powder on these. This is embossed. So this is just it's pretty sparkly, sparklier than you would ordinarily see that kind of logo, but I like a little sparkle in my projects. So this was embossed. Now for these, couple things I wanted to kind of talk about. So this one I've already trimmed it with my blade all the way to the edge, and then I did sand it. And what I will probably still do with this is ink the edges. Now I have to think about what color I want to ink it. If I want to ink it just in like my usual brown, or if I want to ink it with some color. And I'm thinking I might do a color, maybe a red or a blue, just to kind of go with these colors, or even a yellow, but I'm not sure yet. So I haven't decided that, but I did sand it, and then I'll ink those edges. So sanding, I've got a whole pack of sandpaper. This is a 120. I could use something finer, but I'm gonna use this thicker stuff. And really, like this, just cut it so that it is pretty well to the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect. Here it's not perfect. There's a little edge here. And then just quick and easy. And I like to do it on a little bit of an angle because I feel like it gives it that little bit more white, so that when I do my inking, it pops out a little bit more. And if you don't have sandpaper, I bought this especially for these projects, but if you don't have sandpaper, you don't have to use that. You can use a regular nail file. That's what this is. Works really well. Until the glue usually gets a little bit goopy, but it does sand off. I also have sanders that I bought. I think I got them cheap at Amazon. It's not anything fancy. Probably paid $5-ish for these, and they're small, so they're the perfect size, I think, for this. I've seen at like rummage sales and stuff some of those bigger kind of metal sanders too. That would be okay for something like this, but not for the really fine detail. So I like to use these for the really fine detail. So for example, had I put paper on here, I didn't, but had I, this one is a round one, and I would use this round one to really sand that. It's not even bad to use a little bit on here because sometimes I get a little bit of paint on there. And if I don't want that red paint to show, I would sand it. When I do the letters, I could use like in here in this S, I would use this really small one because I won't be able to cut into there and get that perfect. So I would sand it with this. But it also has a triangle shape, which is nice for getting into these little kind of cracks and crevices, or like if I did the star, this is that triangle shape for like the stars. Comes in really handy to get into those corners. So I use it for that. So I like that one. And then there's a flat one. So there's two flat ones, a pointy end and a square end. Those, you can see I've used them a lot. This one's got glitter on it even. Those work well for this too. So if you have a tool kit that has like a metal sander like this, works great for these. I think on the big one it takes a while because I have to go over so much surface, but it works perfect when I'm doing the letters. It doesn't really matter how thick or thin the cardstock is, it just works really well. So that was a really worthwhile investment. I got that maybe 1 or 2 sets into making this. I think I'd seen a video and they were talking about different sanders, and I thought, you know what, that's what I need, because some of this is just too putsy and I can't cut it out and make it look good. Those sanders have made a world of difference. And you can buy, and I have them, some like mixed media pieces too. Sometimes you can get, well, you could get resin ones. You can get wood ones. I have some wood ones that I think were maybe a close to my heart clearance thing, or maybe Fun Stampers Journey clearance. I can't remember now, but somebody on clearance had a bunch of little wood shapes, right, in the same thing. Then I could cover them with papers that match whatever scrapbook page or card or album I'm making, and then sand it down. Same principle. So it doesn't even have to be any of this Foundations Decor stuff. Any of these, kind of that similar thing would apply. And even if I had some metal and I was using some, you know, doing some mixed media and I wanted to rough up the metal a little bit because this is metal too. That would work really well on that. So this will be great multi-purpose for any kind of mixed media thing I might be making. So I think it was a worthwhile investment. So for cutting out, I thought I'd just do a quick tutorial on that. So I've got this nice kind of pencil blade. This is a We Are Memory Keepers. I have some other ones too, but I like the ergonomics of this for when I'm trying to be precise. And I just kind of go right along the edge. Try to make sure you have a sharp blade for this. The hardest, I guess, the least the least fun is if you're working with a dull blade. Then it takes too long, it's hard to cut it. So almost every month when I do these, I end up putting a fresh blade in because I just like a really fresh, sharp blade. And paper does dull it. Right, and this is a nice sharp point, so I can even kind of go in to the angle a little bit. Sometimes the corners don't come out well. This one I do, see, got a little bit of wood. I have to be careful about making sure I don't turn the tip in too far, because then I end up getting pieces of wood. It doesn't really hurt anything, but I don't like to do it. Just cut that out. There we go. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm going to use my little sander in a minute and sand it all off. And this won't be perfect either. Again, it's really hard to get the blade into this corner, but as long as I get some of it so I can get the sander in at least, that's all I'm really worried about. And for those of you who are wondering about the glue, I had some questions about the glue and what glue I use to glue these on. What I do is I use Aleene's tacky glue. And I put some tacky glue kind of all along it. And then I do one of two things depending on the surface. So for these bigger pieces, I actually use an old gift card. And you just let it get tacky for not very long at all. And then this puts it on nice and smooth. I can use it to make sure I get the edges all the way to the corner so it doesn't peel up when I'm sanding it or anything. Keeps it from showing bumps. I found, again, trial and error, when I was putting dots or bumps of glue and then putting this down, it would kind of warp and bubble, or you could see the glue even when it dried. It was really hard to get it smooth. Or I'd smooth it after and squeeze it out, and then I'd end up with a gluey mess all in the back. And then, like you saw when I cut it, it's much harder to cut it or sand it when that glue is there. So this has worked great. Tacky glue, spread, spread, spread. I'll let it get tacky for just a second, put the paper down, kind of hold it in place for a few seconds, and then let it dry. Works awesome. Now for these small pieces, this I could probably do, but this always feels a little clumsy to me, so I don't do that. Again, small amount of glue, and I have these little, not that one, that's a big one, but I have these little spongy daubers. This one actually has paint on it, but I then dab the glue, right, making sure you get all the edges and corners. I always want a piece of paper underneath it so I don't get glue all over my surface, but I dab it out, again, let it get tacky for a few seconds, stick it down, let it dry. And that works. So I recommend the Aleene's. It holds it really nice and tight. It's a thicker glue, so you don't need a ton, but it's important to smooth it out with something before you put it on. So that would be another tip I would share if you're going to do this or any other kind of similar wood project. And I do use that tacky glue for a variety of things. I think it's a really good all-purpose glue when I have something that's thicker that I really want to have stick. I like to use that a lot. Any of my like junk journal covers, I usually use it for. This is a good glue. When I want something thinner and finer, like if I'm doing little beads or other kind of little sticky things, I use this. Sometimes I use this for here, like these little stars, I might use this. And this, I might use this. It's not as thick as the tacky glue. I don't need that thickness. But this is another really good all-purpose clear drying permanent adhesive that I like a lot when I'm doing some of this mixed media work. All right, so then, well, here, like, I didn't get completely to the edge, and it's real easy to just zip that out. You can see I'm getting the little schnibbles. All right, now I'll sweep all that up and just dump it in the trash once I'm done. It's nice having this kind of surface. Nothing sticks to it. It's easy to wipe off and clean. That's just my Caterpillar glass mat. It's got a light up background, which I love. So you can see this isn't hard. It just is a little fussy. It takes a little bit of time. So it really is worth it when you're done. Sand, sand, sand. And with my Foundations Decor calendar, the frames come in plain black and plain white. And mine, I got the black one. I had actually ordered the white one and they accidentally sent me the black one. So I let them know, but I kept the black one because it would be a whole big project to send it back and they're not going to want just the frame. And I'd already started the calendar for the month before I noticed the frame was wrong. So I scuffed mine up. I put some gold paint on it, some silver paint on it. I just made it look different and interesting. Like now I'm looking at it at night and it's got kind of the metallic look to it. You don't see a lot of the black. It looks more like a steel, like a buffed steel kind of. The white one I haven't done anything with yet. It's still plain white. So I did let them know that I got the wrong one, and then they gave me a really nice price on the white one to send me just the white one, because I said, you don't need to send me a whole kit, just send me the frame that I wanted. And my plan was to take the white one and paint it a different color. And now, that I will, once this month is done, have all my months made, I will start to think about what I really want to paint my white calendar. I have a bunch of rose gold kind of texture paint and things like that. So I'm thinking I might make it like a rose gold, which would be super pretty. And then I won't have any new months to make. Then I'll have to think about what other kind of mixed media thing I might want to do. And also what I think is really cool about these, like they do sell all these in blanks. You can buy any of these pieces. You can buy different pieces. I've even seen people do things from their Cricut, or, you know, in Design Space, you can buy, or maybe you have all kinds of different images with the Cricut machine, and you can cut those and put them on the block. So you might just buy pieces of the empty wood block and the magnets, and then you could make your own without using the wood. You could make your own designs that you'd put right on here without the wood pieces. That would be an inexpensive way to keep doing the calendar on a low budget. Could be fun. So once I finish this, I could always say, you know, in a year or two, if I feel like I want to refresh, I could either buy the whole new set and just refresh them different, or I could just buy the blanks and use my Cricut. And it would have the same dimension, but it would still be pretty cute. You can see me sanding this off. This is that triangle sander. And it's slowly coming around here. And this for sure, these letters, I think I'll want to ink up. And I usually do, especially if they have a pattern. When I'm doing these calendars, I like to ink the edges pretty strong. I've used just marker along the edges, or I've used ink pad. But I feel like I for sure will want to ink this up, because that makes it just stand out, especially when I'm doing a pattern paper on a pattern paper. Otherwise it gets just busy and lost. It's always the risk when I do that. And I think there might have even been 1 month when I did the letters with the paper, and once I put it on the thing, on the backing, I hated it. And so I painted over it. And then it was just paint on top of the paper that I ended up not liking. So again, you can be flexible. Right, and that I could always do a redesign too if I wanted to keep the shapes and not buy new. Some of them I could redo. I tend to make mine pretty mixed media, like these trees and stuff, so it'd be really hard to cover it. But anything that I did with just paper, it'd be easy to put new paper on or paint or any combination of those. So there we go, that's sanded off. See, and I think it's like contrasting patterns, but I just think it's cool and fun. And I think with a border on this and a border on that, it will be awesome. So there you go. And we've got this, we'll put together, get it all glued up. And once I have it done, which I don't know if it'll be today. I was hoping it would be today because it's already August 4th and I still don't have August ready. I've been busy helping my mom and trying to pack because I'm moving, so I haven't had time to really focus on this. And like a weekend ago, or 2 weekends ago, I was like, oh, I should work on my calendar. Oh, no, it's too soon. And then all of a sudden it was August and my calendar wasn't even started. So I hope if I don't get it done today, which I probably won't, that I do get it done tomorrow and can swap out my July, which I really liked, for my new August calendar. And I will post a picture on Instagram and on my Facebook page so that you can see what I came up with once I was done. Thanks for joining. Good night.